Hi fifth graders, welcome back to art class. Today you're going to be creating your ombre sky using the tints and shades that we talked about last time. So you're going to be creating tints and shades, many values of the color you choose from the color wheel. That's called a true hue. So to start out, you're going to make two circles on your paper. One's going to be a whole circle and the other is going to be part of a circle. So the circle that you're making is going to be the white part. So that's going to be white. And then you're going to make another circle around that first circle, leaving some space in between so that you can make the lighter colors going to white and then the darker colors going to black. So this part here will be your true hue. So just like we did on our practice paper, you're going to start with the true hue color. Oh, before I start, I need to put my name on the back, and I just did a little practice on here. So let me write my name on the back before I start painting. All right, here we go. So first I'm going to start with my true hue because that's what we started with on our practice, and I'm going to paint it right about here. So I'm just going to take my orange and paint it over top of that line. And you want to make your line kind of light because it will show through some of the colors. It won't do all of them, but some of them. So I'm just painting over top of that line, trying to fill it in the best that I can. You'll notice the paint feels kind of sticky when you first put it down, but it'll start to get a little easier as you're moving it. Alright, so there's my true hue. That was the middle part of my practice. Then I'm going to make my color get lighter, creating tints of this color. So I'm going to start with my orange, and I'm going to start really close to the white but not going inside. So I'm going to need a lot of white and a little bit of orange. So I'm going to take a lot of white, a little bit of orange, and I'm going to paint around the circle that's going to remain white. I want this to be super duper light tints, like almost whites. I'm going to make it even lighter here. So I just took some whites and made it even lighter. So I'm going to keep doing that until it gets to orange. So I'm going to keep adding to my white until it gets orange, making it a little bit darker as I go. So I'm just adding some orange. So this time I'm going to do orange with a little bit of white and see what that makes. That's a little bit darker. So orange and then white. Your paint's going to get a little messy. It's okay. It's cool. If you feel more comfortable mixing these colors in here, you can. Your paint tray, you use it how you want. I'm going to paint differently than you are. I'm just giving you a suggestion on how I like to paint, so you can use that as a suggestion. But I'm grading you on your creation of a light tint all the way to your true hue and then your true hue to your dark shade. So you're going to need to try to create that. Not worrying about the table. Now here I can take my orange and just do plain orange and kind of do just a little teeny tiny bit of white on it to make it a little different than that true hue. But you'll see that it gets really light and then gradually gets darker. That's called ombre effect. In art we call it value. So I'm running out of orange, which means I'm going to need to go get some more. So I'm going to take my paint tray over there in just a second. Please be patient with me. I'll put a little bit of white on this to stretch it out a little. So I did all my tints, and that part is filled in, and now I'm ready to move on to my shades of orange. So let me get some more orange. Just remember that you take the pin off, pour your color, and then put the pin back on after you're done. Alright. Next I'm going to clean my brush and I'm going to start doing the shades. Now we don't want to have a lot of shades, but I still want to see that you know and understand that. So I'm going to clean my brush. You can use a paper towel if you want to. You can help yourself. And remember, when we do our shades, we want to start with the orange first and then add a little tiny bit of black at a time. So I'm getting a lot of orange with a little teeny tiny bit of black. And then I'm going to mix that here around my true hue. When you double dip your brush, it works better than just mixing on your paper, because then you're actually mixing the colors together. Sometimes when we mix on our paper gets dry already, and then it won't look the right color, and you have to go back and fix it. And that's fine too, but you want to try to make that color first before you have to go back, because it might not be the same. Alright, so my color's getting darker. Now I'm going to add a little bit more black, trying to make it get almost black at the edges of my paper. See how it turned almost black? But I don't want it to go directly to black, because then it's not going to get that shading effect. I just took some black and added it to the corners a little bit. That seems to be working pretty good. So you'll also notice when you are painting or drawing, some things might work better than others. You might find some tricks that work better, and as I'm doing this, I'm discovering some tricks, and you might discover some tricks too while you're working that might work better for the students around you or for yourself. So it's okay to share ideas. It's okay to show what you're doing. Sharing is great. I love sharing with other art teachers and other artists. I spend my weekend doing that a lot on the internet, getting ideas for you. So as we're done, the last thing we're going to do is that white circle. Now you're going to take white and you're going to have the teeniest, tiniest bit of your true hue. So make sure your brush is really clean. And then you're going to take white with a little tiny bit of the true hue. Actually, this already has some orange on it, so I'm going to keep it like that. And then I'm going to paint that in here. And if it's not the lightest version of my color, I'm going to keep adding white, because I want it to be as close to white as possible. If you want to just make it white, you can make it white. That you can do that too. But I want to make it really light orange. I'm going to actually add some more whites. And then if you let it dry a little bit, you can put some more white on top. Sometimes if you keep adding, it doesn't really work. But the whole point of this is to make your ombre effect starting with the small circle, gradually getting darker to your true hue circle, and then gradually going to black on the corners of your paper. And try to make that circle kind of offset. That means not directly in the center, because this is way more interesting than right smack in the middle. So make sure that you're doing that when you're creating, because if they're all in the middle, it's going to be boring. So make it interesting. When you're done, your paper is going to go on the drying rack. It's best to carry it with 2 thumbs like this. I like to tell the little kids, carry it like your lunch. So carry it like your lunch to the drying rack. Make sure you put your paint tray in the sink or on the blue tray at your table that has the water buckets, and your brush just stays in your water bucket. You can clean it a little bit if you want to, or you can just leave it for me. I will clean them for you later. So good luck.